The Kremlin's boasts of invincibility are as much about psychological warfare as military might. For decades, Russia has cultivated an image of unassailable strength, projecting power not just through its military hardware, but through the stories it tells the world, and itself, about its capabilities. Just yesterday, President Putin unveiled Russia's latest so-called game-changing weapons, including the Burevestnik cruise missile and Poseidon super torpedo. These announcements were delivered with the usual fanfare, designed to send a clear message to both domestic and international audiences. Russia is not only keeping pace with the West, but is supposedly leaping ahead. He claimed these nuclear-capable systems could outpace and outsmart any Western defense, painting Russia as untouchable. The implication is that any attempt to challenge Moscow would be futile, as its arsenal could penetrate even the most advanced shields. But these grand pronouncements come as the war in Ukraine grinds on. With no decisive Russian victory in sight, the reality on the ground is far messier than the polished presentations in Moscow, and the gap between rhetoric and results is growing harder to ignore. Putin's message was clear: Russia holds a technological trump card, and the West should beware. Yet, this display is as much about shoring up support at home as it is about intimidating adversaries abroad. Yet, history is littered with invincible weapons that failed their first real test. Time and again, so-called wonder weapons have been unveiled with great promise, only to falter when faced with the chaos and unpredictability of real conflict. By tying his image to these systems, Putin has raised the stakes and painted a target on them. If these weapons stumble, it's not just a technical failure, but a blow to the Kremlin's carefully crafted image of dominance. The bigger the boast, the greater the risk of humiliation. In the high-stakes arena of global power, overconfidence can be as dangerous as any enemy. And as the world watched, Ukraine and its allies were already plotting to shatter the myth of Russian invulnerability. The next chapter in this contest will be written not in press releases, but on the battlefield, where reality always has the final word. As Putin boasted of Russia's dominance in the Black Sea, a very different story was unfolding beneath the surface, one that would challenge the Kremlin's sense of security and control. Ukrainian special forces meticulously prepared for a daring strike, not on a missile silo or a warship, but on the Sivash drilling rig, a seemingly unlikely but crucial Russian military outpost in the Black Sea. This was no ordinary target, it was a symbol of Russian reach and a linchpin in their regional operations. Once just an energy platform, the rig had been transformed into a Russian fortress, bristling with advanced electronic warfare systems, surveillance equipment, and elite troops. Ukraine's plan was as ambitious as it was risky. Infiltrate under the cover of darkness, neutralize the heavily armed garrison, and destroy the critical equipment that allowed Russia to monitor and control the surrounding waters. Every move had to be precise, every second counted. This was asymmetric warfare at its most creative. Stealth, surprise, and audacity pitted against entrenched power and overwhelming odds. Ukrainian commandos relied on speed, intelligence, and the element of shock. The Sivash rig was more than just a platform. It was a strategic thorn in Ukraine's side, constantly monitoring Ukrainian naval movements and helping coordinate Russian attacks across the region. By targeting this installation, Ukraine aimed to blind Russian forces, disrupt their command structure, and send a powerful message. Nowhere, not even the heart of the Black Sea, is beyond reach. The operation demanded flawless execution and was entrusted only to Ukraine's most elite and highly trained special forces, who had spent weeks rehearsing every detail. It marked a bold new phase in Ukraine's naval strategy, one that relied on innovation, adaptability, and unconventional tactics, rather than sheer firepower or numbers. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo far beyond the Black Sea, sending shockwaves all the way to Moscow and forcing Russia to rethink its sense of invulnerability. Under cover of darkness, Ukrainian special forces closed in on the Sivash rig, moving with a silent determination that only comes from months of rigorous training and careful planning. Every step was calculated, every movement rehearsed. As they advanced through the shadows, their objective clear and their resolve unshakable. Evading Russian patrols with precision, the operatives navigated a maze of enemy defenses, using the darkness as their ally. Their ability to blend into the night and avoid detection was a testament to their discipline and skill, allowing them to get dangerously close to their target without raising the alarm. The assault was swift and brutal. Elite Russian troops were engaged and neutralized in close combat. The clash was intense, with both sides fighting fiercely, but the element of surprise gave the Ukrainians the upper hand, allowing them to quickly overpower the defenders. But this was more than a commando raid. It was a showcase of new tactics and battlefield innovation. The operation demonstrated not just courage, but a mastery of modern warfare, combining stealth, speed, and technology in a seamless assault. Ukrainian kamikaze drones packed with explosives targeted Russian patrol boats, turning the sea into a weapon. These unmanned aerial vehicles struck with deadly accuracy, crippling enemy vessels and sowing confusion among Russian forces, who suddenly found themselves under attack from above and below. The chaos on the water allowed special forces to systematically destroy Russian surveillance and electronic warfare gear. With the enemy disoriented, Ukrainian troops moved quickly, planting explosives and sabotaging critical equipment, ensuring that nothing of value would remain in Russian hands. The rig's military value was wiped out in minutes. What had once been a strategic outpost bristling with sensors and defenses was reduced to smoldering wreckage. Its role in the conflict abruptly ended. Ukrainian operatives planted charges with practiced efficiency, then slipped away into the darkness, leaving devastation in their wake. Their exit was as silent as their approach, vanishing before Russian reinforcements could respond. The once formidable platform was left burning, its garrison shattered and its defenses in ruins. Flames lit up the night sky, a stark signal of Ukraine's reach and determination. Ukraine had struck deep, dismantling a key Russian asset and proving its ability to hit where least expected. This operation sent a clear message. Nowhere is safe from Ukrainian ingenuity and resolve. The Kremlin's response was predictable: deny, deflect, and distort. Russian officials released doctored footage, claiming they'd repelled a failed Ukrainian attack, but Ukraine countered with undeniable proof first-person drone footage showing the destruction of the Russian patrol boat. The information war was on full display. Moscow's narrative crumbled under the weight of visual evidence. Ukraine's transparency and rapid release of footage not only validated its victory, but exposed Russian vulnerability. Each video clip eroded the Kremlin's credibility, both at home and abroad. The Sivash rig raid became a symbol of this digital battlefield. While Russia spun tales, the world saw the truth in high definition. For Putin, the public unraveling of his narrative was a blow that stung far beyond the Black Sea. Ukraine's battlefield successes are powered by a potent mix of Western support and homegrown innovation working hand in hand. British Storm Shadow missiles and German Patriot systems have leveled the playing field, giving Ukraine new capabilities. Meanwhile, Ukraine's own arms industry is ramping up production of new missiles and drones at an impressive pace. A unique gamified reward system for drone operators has unleashed a wave of creativity and fierce competition, making drone warfare brutally effective and increasingly unpredictable for the enemy. This blend of imported high-tech and agile domestic solutions allows Ukraine to strike deep, defend its skies with confidence, and adapt faster than its adversary, staying one step ahead. It's a modern, decentralized approach that Russia's rigid military struggles to counter effectively. Ukraine is no longer just defending, it's now taking the fight inside Russia. Recent strikes on oil refineries and military sites deep in Russian territory have disrupted logistics and shattered the illusion of safety for ordinary Russians. These attacks, enabled by Western missiles and Ukrainian drones, force Moscow to divert resources and urgently rethink its strategy. The psychological impact is profound. Air raid sirens and explosions are now a reality in cities once thought untouchable. The Kremlin's narrative of a contained conflict is unraveling. Ukraine's expanded campaign is a calculated move to raise the cost of war for Russia. The battlefield now stretches far beyond Ukraine's borders. It's a strategy of 1,000 cuts, bleeding the Russian war machine and exposing new vulnerabilities. Russia's answer to Ukrainian successes is a barrage of missiles and drones, often targeting civilians and infrastructure. After the Black Sea humiliation, Odessa and other cities came under heavy fire, testing Ukraine's air defenses and resolve. Russian strikes have killed and wounded civilians, destroyed energy facilities, and targeted Ukrainian troops even during ceremonies. On the ground, Russia throws waves of conscripts at key positions, accepting staggering casualties to grind down Ukrainian defenses. This dual strategy, indiscriminate bombardment and human wave assaults, is designed to exhaust Ukraine. The toll is immense. Shelters fill, infrastructure crumbles, and the front lines are stretched thin. Russia bets on attrition, hoping its sheer numbers will eventually break Ukraine's will. But every Ukrainian victory makes that outcome less certain. The Sivash rig strike, coming on the heels of Putin's boasts, was more than a tactical win. It was a blow to the Kremlin's prestige. Each Ukrainian success chips away at Putin's image as an unassailable leader. The gap between Russian propaganda and battlefield reality grows wider with every exposed failure. For Russian troops, nowhere feels safe. For the public, doubt creeps in. Yet Ukraine's struggle is far from over. Casualties mount, infrastructure is battered, and winter looms. Zelensky's urgent pleas for aid underscore the nation's vulnerability. The war is a contest of brute force versus innovation, mass versus agility. Every Ukrainian operation that humiliates Putin raises the political cost of his war. The myth of Russian invincibility is cracking, and with each bold strike, those cracks deepen.